Hi everyone, it's Michael Citron with the Citron Group at RE/MAX Park Creek coming to you from another Ask Michael Monday. This is episode 82, and I thought we would talk about, there's a lot of activity in this market right now. We're in the summer selling season, and a lot of buyers are putting in offers on listings. Now they could be any price point, so this could apply to any home that you're looking to buy or possibly looking to buy in the future. How do you present your offer? How do you put your best foot forward? And I say that presentation is everything. So we take a lot of listings, we have a lot of sellers that we work with, and we work with buyers, and what I always see is the best offer you get is one that's presented well throughout the whole process of getting the offer to us. That really is an indicator, because we're really the messengers here. So when a seller sees an offer and we're the experts and we show them how it's presented, it really puts the best foot forward for that client, that buyer, to have a great chance of getting that home. So here are my first things that I think are important when you're putting an offer in. First, put together a letter. Introduce yourself. Tell the seller why you're purchasing the property. Give them a little bit of insight on who you are, your family. Show pictures if you like. We even recommend doing a little personal video. Have your kids speak in the video. These are all things that are very impactful, that give the seller a sense that you're serious about buying the house. They can relate to you. You're not just a piece of paper with an offer. And if there's multiple offers, your offer could stand out. So I always recommend that you do this, because I think people emotionally connect. A seller wants to hand over the keys to a buyer that's going to, take care of the home like they did. They feel emotionally attached to the house. I want to get that emotional connection from the seller to the buyer. So it's really important to put a really nice letter together. Say that you're qualified. Say that you did your due diligence, that you really like the house, and you're going to make it your own. Mortgage approval. We work with Joe Palapoli at Supreme Lending. Before we put any offer in, or before we even put a buyer in a car, we really want to get our buyers approved. And the best way of doing that is getting a great pre-approval letter, presented to the seller, so they know that you're serious. You can get a direct underwriter approval, but certainly getting a mortgage approval, not a pre-qualification where it still needs some updated paperwork to really establish a loan approval, a pre-approval. So it's really important to have that with the loan. It's almost like this certificate that you can buy, to make the seller feel very comfortable that have gone through the mortgage process. I also recommend that when you're working with your lender, whoever it may be, hopefully it's Joe or local lenders, you want them to reach out to the listing agent. I don't get this a lot, and I really think it's important that when you're presenting an offer to a seller, that you should have your lender, who's a team effort, and that's really the person. That's the one giving you the money. That's really the most important part when you're purchasing a property, the bank. Who's representing that person? Are they accessible? Are they going to call you at night or possibly on the weekend, and they're not just open from 9 to 5 and then they don't care about you till the bank opens again? So we work with Joe Palapoli, a good local lender that's going to be able to speak directly to the lender. The Supreme Lending is an amazing local mortgage company that a lot of agents here locally and sellers know. So it's really important that you have that relationship with your lender, who will be able to put your best foot forward by speaking with that listing agent and seller and being able to present you're really qualified to purchase this property. Proof of funds. If you're purchasing a property cash, certainly no offer we ever present to our sellers without including proof of funds. But also, if you're putting a lot of money down, if you put 20% down or more for the financing of a purchase, which a lot of buyers do in Parkland, I also recommend when we're representing sellers that we ask for proof of funds. I want to know that the buyer can afford to spend the 20% down plus the closing costs. So it's important to present that. Again, you're just making the seller feel emotionally connected. I always say you buy a house with your heart and you back it up with your head. It's no different with a seller. They want to emotionally connect with the buyer, that they feel is going to give them the best price, the best terms, turn over the keys. This is the best way of showing the sellers that you really are qualified to purchase this house, and you're going through every hoop to make that possible. Typed formal offer with addendums, all fields filled out. I get lots of offers on our listings, and a lot of the fields aren't filled out. A lot of the addendums aren't included, and it just takes a lot of time and effort. And as I said, presentation's everything. If we get multiple offers on a property, these are the things that concern me the most when I don't receive all of the information, or I get a written up agreement. And I know sometimes people get excited and they want to put an offer together, but with technology today, you could sign a contract electronically on your iPhone, your smartphone. So these are really important to have the contract presented in a proper manner, have it clean, fresh copy, typed out, so everybody can read all the terms and present it fully to the seller. Now, these are some other things that sellers really like to see when they're getting an offer. These are the desirable seller terms. And of course, the sales price. I always tell clients, if they're looking to pay a price for the house, come in with a very strong offer, and obviously if it's a multiple offer situation, you want to put your best foot forward. So remember that when you're purchasing a property at a price point that might get a lot of offers on the house. Escrow money. Put the amount of money you feel comfortable, but understand you're going to get that money back if you don't pass the inspection period of the purchase. So again, presentation's everything. Have your lender, all these things that we're going through, but have your money presented. So if you put $20,000, $30,000 in escrow, it's going to make the seller and the seller's agent feel that you're really engaged in the property and you're committed to buying it. Best mortgage financing. If you're putting down 20%, great. 10%, a lot of different loan programs out there. If you are going FHA or VA, make sure you explain why you're doing that, and put that in your letter as well, so you can create an emotional connection with a seller. Say you're a first-time home buyer. Say that you're a military veteran. These are things that are going to create an emotional connection and touch when presenting an offer. Quick inspection period. I always like to see a quick inspection period. I always say a buyer who wants to purchase a property will want to move through the process expeditiously. They want to know the house is in good condition. So they're going to want to do the inspection fast anyways. Don't they want to know if the house is in good condition or not really quickly before they make arrangements to make a move and pay more money in an appraisal and closing fees? So make sure that you seek out a quick inspection period. I like to see 5 to 7 days. The FAR bar contract that we use, if you leave it blank, it's 15. I think that's a lot of time to take a house off the market, a lot of time to show a seller that you might not be as committed to this property. So I always say tighten those terms. So we have the quick inspection period. Tighten the loan commitment period. Working with a lender like Joe Powell, you can get a loan commitment in 10 to 15 days on a lot of our files, or even sooner. If you leave it blank, it's 30 days. A lot can happen in 30 days. I always say a buyer could lose their job. They could get cold feet. Time kills deals. Remember that. Time kills deals. So if you're able to really want a property, make sure that you move expeditiously through the process of inspecting the home, getting the highest escrow, getting a loan commitment in a week or two, so the sellers will feel confident in 2 to 3 weeks that this deal's solid. A lot of money in escrow, putting down a lot in deposit, doing the inspection period fast, and getting the loan commitment by the bank. It's really beneficial to you when you present this to a seller in this capacity. And desirable closing date. Find out, have your agent or yourself find out from the seller what's their desirable closing date. Usually, as I said, time kills deals, so sellers understand. The best buyers in this market want to inspect the house, get a house appraised quickly, get a loan commitment quickly, and close quickly. It's a good problem to have when I tell my seller the buyers want you out. They're going to pay you the price, but they want you out in 30 days or less. It's a good problem to have in today's market. Remember that. Buyer's agent email to the listing agent with comparables. So we just put an offer on a Watercrest listing. I was representing a buyer this weekend, and I made sure when I got all this information, I presented my own email, thanking the seller for allowing us access, thanking the agent for their information of questions that we have asked, and I also included the comparable sales to justify where our offer was placed. And I think it really helps to do that. So a seller might not have seen these comparables, the agent might not know about it, but again, I asked this to be presented to the seller, so if the agent did or did not go over these comparables, at least I know that with our offer, it should be presented. And it's interesting to see the response that sometimes people, they know that comp existed, or they have explanations of why their house might be better, but at least it can help you justify all this information. Old school, years ago, I've been in the business for 15 years, we used to present offers in person in my first couple of years in the business. I don't know if you want to go to the seller's house and knock on their door with the agent. I don't know if that's going to happen, but sometimes if you have a listing agent that has multiple offers on properties, they're very busy, they might not return your calls right away, whatever it may be. Even if they do, I would get this offer together and take it over to the seller's listing agent's office and hand deliver it. Put a little note thanking them, saying, here, I've emailed it as well, but I'm sending it to you in person, providing it to your secretary, whoever. I think it's very impactful. It makes the presentation as clear as day that the buyer wants this house and is going to put themselves in the pole position to really get the best property for them. So that's our conclusion. So these are some helpful ideas to get your offer presented in its best capacity. If you're working with a realtor or not, it starts with working with a great lender, a great buyer's agent who's going to guide you through the process. And again, we're creating that emotional connection. I always tell a buyer that they should connect emotionally with a house. It's no different for the seller. So you need to keep them emotionally connected with you as the buyer over potential other buyers that might come in, maybe with not the best presentation. So make sure you present it. Write a letter. Put your your family on camera with your iPhone and include that. It really warms up the seller and gets them engaged with you. So maybe you come in a little low on your price. I always say this helps make you feel real and humanizes the offer in a sense that the seller will want to take your offer very seriously. And your buyer's agent can help you with this. If you have any questions or you're putting on offers today, these are some really great tips to help you get the best deal on your home that you're looking to buy. And remember, it's your largest financial asset, so remember that. Please share, like. If you have any questions, we're here to answer your questions and concerns. If you're a resident in Parkland and you're looking to possibly sell your house, it's never too late. We're still really hot summer season. You can go to our website designed for home value, myparklandhomevalue.com, or you can certainly direct message us here. I hope everyone has a great evening with your family, and we'll see you next week for another edition of Ask Michael Monday. Thank you.